A very warm welcome back to you and welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei. We are one game away from the grand final and crowning our champion and our final stop of the Season 9 tour. We head to the World Championship in 6 weeks' time, and we now know the name of our 7th entrant into the World Championship. That name is StarCraft Life after defeating Parting. We now move on to our second semi-final, where we have a clash of old players and new players. It's Maru versus Soulkey, and it is promising to be spectacular. We've already had some amazing games this week, and joining me back on desk once more are Apollo, Kalaris and Susie. I'm just so happy that we have these quality players and quality games to talk about. The first one we talked about today, so we'll leave that as it is, but I just want to leave it with one final thing, which is what Susie just told us, which was life gets the final word. The tweet said 2 letters, easy.
You know how mad Parting is inside right now? He's so mad.
Yeah, he is.
He knew that Life wasn't in the best condition.
Yep.
He knew that he was the favorite. He thought he was going to win.
Yep.
And that just didn't happen.
Yeah,
he's mad.
It was pretty rough. Okay, let's talk about Maru first of all. Prodigious talent, fantastic over the last 4 years. Incredibly, to say that he's been around for 4 years is amazing in its own right. Still very, very young, still only 17 years of age, not even 18 until the summer. Haven't really seen him too much over the last 12 months though. Why is that, Sean?
2014 was a very difficult year for Terran. Protoss was at its strongest throughout the year. And also Zerg was pretty good against Terran too. So things have changed. Things have started to balance themselves out across the all 3 races recently, and it's a lot more skill-oriented than it ever has been before, I'd like to say. And he's shining through, and I think 2015 is going to be his biggest year by far, and he's going to win more than one tournament this year too.
Yeah, I mean, James, do you think we'll see him outside of Korea more often in 2015 as well?
Potentially. I mean, it really depends on how the Pro League schedule ends up working out, because again, that is a big limiting factor on a lot of Kesper players.
And he's a very important player to Junior as well, so...
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he has been their ace for quite a while. Of course, people could argue SOS and people like that, but it's Maru, really. Look at the talent that this kid exudes every single time he actually plays. And he had actually a rocky start at this tournament.
Yeah, it wasn't great, was it?
No, but he's picked it back up, and yesterday especially, it looked a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, the contrast between Maru when he's great and Maru when he's not great is quite stark, isn't it? The difference is a big gap. I mean, we saw it, the bad side of him against Parting yesterday. Luckily for him, he's not going up against another Protoss, but that's the bad side of him, when his mind game seems to have lost. He loses the first map and he thinks, oh, crikey, I don't know what to do, I'll just cheese then, I don't care. Almost like he's very flippant, almost like a teenager in a way.
Oh, funny you say that.
That he's just going to, no, I don't care anymore. He's got to get over that. How does he do that?
Experience and coaching, and he'll gain more and more of that as he grows older and older, and he will be one of the best StarCraft players we've seen. The thing is, what makes him that type of player, compared to a lot of other players that we have, him and Life, very identical in this, is that they've grown into StarCraft 2. They played it, that was their first game.
Right.
And they've molded into StarCraft 2, and they become a part of it, and they're growing with it. And it makes you such a better player compared to anyone else who transfers from another game. I mean, you look in Brood War, right? It's exactly the same thing.
You see a lot of Brood War players who try to transition into StarCraft 2, and you only see that a handful actually really make it to the top. Kids like Maru and Life, I mean, they, like you said, they kind of grew into it. This is their life.
And it was the same thing 10 years ago in Brood War. All the best players came from the 12, 13-year-olds who grew into it, and then became the Jadon, became the Flash.
Well, exactly young.
Yeah, Flash was, I think he was the youngest winner of a Brood War championship.
He was like 15 at the time too. Yeah.
And Maru and Life have both been on TV at 14 years of age as well, and then won things at 15.
Yeah,
incredible.
It's so impressive, and the best part, for me at least, there will be more like this. There will be more Life. There will be more Maru as the game all ages, and just as the youngsters get into it from Korea.
Just as a side issue, they have got this conveyor belt of talent, it seems, in Korea. It just keeps coming and coming and coming, 13, 14-year-olds. How do we compete with that? How does Europe compete with that? How does North America compete with that?
Well,
where do we get our conveyor belt from?
I'm just going to go to the history books. I'm going to take it to the history books here, and let's just go back to Brood War, and I say, I don't think you can.
No, exactly.
Like, it's difficult.
Yeah. Okay. Maru, in terms of her personality, I don't want to be too mean about him, but it is like getting blood out of a stone sometimes, Susie, and you've done a great job of actually extracting the maximum out of him in interview. What is he like backstage? Is he a different kind of character?
No, he's not. He's actually
Is he shy? Is he...
I think the only thing he really thinks about is StarCraft. And so when you ask him, what do you want to eat? What do you like to do? What's your
What are you
favorite
gonna do with your
color?
winnings?
You know, he'd just be like, I don't know. You know, and I said this to him. I said, actually, you know, a lot of the Korean players, I don't know if you guys know this, go through interview training.
Yeah.
They go through media training and things like that.
It's not going well.
He said he hasn't done any of it yet.
Okay.
Right? And I said, well, you need to do this because you're a really good player. You're going to be coming out and doing interviews all the time. We really need to see more of you and more of your character. And he's like, I don't know what to say. I don't have anything to say. And I'm like, you do.
Can you imagine
just
him going through training? There's like a PR lady there, like, okay, Maru, your favorite color is red. Your favorite animals, cats.
Okay.
Every time they ask you, repeat these.
I actually got this vision of a Star Trek room where he actually got put in there and the plug got plugged in and it all got drilled into his head. These are all your favourite things.
And then he gets out and goes play StarCraft again.
Oh, no. So listen. So I said that to him. I said, you know, if you can't think of anything to say, make up something. Like on the spot. I'm at a foreign tournament, so this is great, or something. And he goes, I did that yesterday. And I was like, good. What did you say? And he goes, I said I want to play against Zerg instead of Protoss. And I'm like...
It's still StarCraft.
It's still 50-50.
I know. And so anyway, we did talk about that. He said he did want to play against Life more so than Parting for the reason that Zerg is probably a little bit easier for him. And I said, does that mean Zerg is easy? I'm trying to bait him to say something. And the guy's just like, well, easier than Protoss. I was like, so 50-50. He goes, maybe 55. You know, I'm like,
Yeah, it's difficult.
He's working on it,
I think
guys. He is
sometimes we
working on
do
it.
forget that he is just 17, and that put ourselves in that kind of similar position with all the media attention, cameras and stage and crowd. It must be an incredible thing to have to deal with, and some players deal with it better than others. I remember Life at New York a couple of years ago. He just laps it up, doesn't care. He was 16 at the time.
I mean,
doesn't matter. It's like water off a duck's back to him. He doesn't care.
When you grow up with it, when you are 13 and then you're on TV and you're actually playing there, it really is all he knows. I mean, even this morning, before the tournament was going on, I was watching him practice back there. He was with all the Jin Air Green Wings guys in the lobbies, like talking about the games and how he's going to approach it and stuff like that. So it's just intrinsic in his mind. He's grown up with it, and it's really right now all he knows, to the point where he's an automaton.
Okay, let's talk about Soulkey. Fantastic. Was at one point the best Zerg in the world. There's no doubt about that. I think that, late 2013, if you like.
Yeah.
2014 wasn't necessarily a great year. It wasn't terrible. He still had some solid results. And the way that he matches up against Maru is actually very good for him. Although he starts off as the major underdog in this semi-final, the history would suggest that he has a great chance in this matchup. He actually went 8 consecutive matches in a row against Maru of wins before losing 3-1, and then has won since. So he's 9-1 in Maru matchup games. Does that have any bearing on this match, Sean? It's got to have something, hasn't it? It's got to play on Maru's mind a little bit. If he loses the first map and...
Yeah, it definitely has an impact on it. The scale of it is difficult to tell because they haven't played against each other in quite a while now. No. But, for example, Soulkey never lost to him in Pro League. Like, never lost to him in Pro League. Every time they played, Soulkey would win.
Yep.
So it does have a bit of bearing on it, but the skill difference between the two of them has to be the underline here. It's Maru who's a much better player and is looking at the finals, where Soulkey's looking to one step further in the tournament, one step further in the tournament. I think that's the most important.
He has been the comeback king. We said that earlier on. Go all the way back to the open bracket on, blimey, where are we now? Wednesday, I think it was. And he played True. Lost to True in the first round, dropped down to the lower bracket, played Haas, almost lost to Haas as well, which, I sound incredulous because that would have been a massive shock if he'd gone down to Haas in the lower bracket. Got through that one. Then he had Jack G, almost lost to Jack G as well. That was a 2-1. And then suddenly he finds a bit of form, goes through the lower bracket and gets into the groups. Great, awesome. He's into the main thing. Then he does almost the same thing again in the groups. He worries you. Worries you as a true believer, as it were. almost didn't get out of the group as well. And then you think, well, okay, he's managed to do that. And then yesterday, he's 2-1 down against Rain, probably the best Protoss in the world. Well, it's done then. And he comes back again. He never, ever knows when to lay down.
Yeah, these type of tournament runs fuels confidence because you keep on going, you keep rolling, and you get motivation, and you start to remember the type of player he used to be. And as you said, he was once considered the best Zerg.
Yeah.
And to beat these players, to come back against Rain, who everyone thought Rain would win this tournament, or challenge these players to win it. So I really think and hope that Soulkey's picked up from these wins and can bring it against Maru in this series.
Okay. Our Taiwanese host is busy and ready to bring out the two players onto the stage. We'll continue to talk about Soulkey as he comes out of the stage. Susie, he's an interesting character, isn't he?
I really like him.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart. He is an absolute sweetheart. I went in there and I said, hey, you know, Maru picked you. He wanted to play against you, man. And he goes, yeah, I know. And I go, because, are you an easy opponent? He goes, I know. He's like, I understand Terran have a good time versus Zerg. He goes, but there is something called, playing to an opponent and not playing to the race. And he was like, I've beat him so many times that I'm just going to play it as I normally would play against him. This is the first time they're meeting not in Korea.
Yes, it is actually.
He said this is the first time they're meeting on an international stage, and it's a little bit different. But he seems really relaxed. He came in here as all smiles again, and just the same old Soulkey that we know.
Okay. James, as a prominent Zerg player, I've watched you play some Zerg matches. I'm gonna place you in the Zerg camp for now, rather
Todd does a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
Give me the defense for the case of Soulkey to win this match and potentially go on to the final. What does he need to do?
I've got you back after you finished. I've been thinking about it.
You give me that because I want to say something completely different to Paul's asking
we'll leave that for Sean then. You do the other thing.
The thing that I really wanted to mention was that it's interesting to watch Soulkey actually here in this tournament, because if you think about his position in StarCraft right now, he's just recently joined TCM, and we're probably going to see him on a few more international stages. So. International stages and tournaments are a lot different to how you play a tournament in Korea, where you turn up for one match, you know who you're going to play, you prepare, and blah, blah, blah. But here it's game after game after game after game. So that might be why we saw a little bit of a shaky start to Soulkey, and maybe even Maru to a lesser extent, because remember last time he went to an international tournament was like WCS Season 2, where he bombed out and everyone it was in Cologne or something. So I think Soulkey, this for him, if he is able to kind of get that a bit more stability here against Maru, there is a potential that he could win. Because it's a different tournament setting, if he's able to gain that stability, I think he could do something.
Okay, so the defense for Soulkey.
All right, well, I was thinking about this, and it kind of stems from a combination of what you both have said. You bringing out the head-to-head and how he's got this great record against him, and at first I didn't really think it would impact that much, and then I started to think a little bit more, and then you bring up the fact that Soulkey said, I understand his style and I beat him a lot, and then it just kind of clicked. And now I'm thinking about it, Maru has a very unique style. He's very aggressive, and he always plays like that, and to a lot of aggressive players, that also is your weakness if your opponent knows that. Zerg versus Terran hasn't really changed that much over the last year or two. It's pretty much stayed the same with a small few tweaks in terms of what Terran can do to Zerg. This matchup is what Soulkey's been good at for a very long time. It's by far, I don't say by far, I would say it's his strongest matchup. I think Protoss is definitely his weakest. So combining all these things together, I think this is actually going to be a little bit closer than most people expect it to be.
Okay, all right, well, prediction time it is. Susie?
I've been wrong just about every single time now. It's because I go with my heart.
It's becoming a Susie curse, oh no!
This is what happens when you live in Korea for too long.
Absolutely, you get affected.
Artosis. Anyway, my heart says Soulkey. No, you know what? I'm just going to go with it. Soulkey.
Okay.
I'm going with Soulkey to win this.
James? This should be easy for you.
Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not.
He heard my defense.
I know.
He heard my defense.
He did hear your defense.
I'm going to go Maru 3-2. I think it goes all the way.
Okay, all right. That's an Aligulac prediction as well. It's exactly the same.
I'm going to be as honest as I can be. I think the better final would be Maru against Life, but I think it's going to be Soulkey.
Okay, very interesting indeed. The thoughts of our expert panel are complete, so let's find out what our commentators think of our second semi-final. Once again, let's join Maynard and Todd.
G'day guys, welcome back. Games are about to start shortly. I'm here with Todd. We're talking a little bit about the ZvT coming up between Maru and Soulkey, and I have to disagree with the panel. I feel like Maru's going to edge this one. What do you think, Todd?
I think you play Terran and everybody knows that, and nobody's surprised that you think that.
Interesting theory, shut up.
Actually, they didn't really think that Soulkey was going to win. Soulkey, he's like the favorite, you know, in their hearts. That's what Susie said. She thought that her head, at least in her head, Maru was going to win, but she would prefer Soulkey to win, obviously.
All right, well, look, I agree with Susie then.
Yeah.
Susie's head. I'm agreeing with that part of the body.
Not with her heart.
Not with the heart. I'm feeling like Maru just was so incredible in his series versus True. I had the privilege to be able to cast that with the Polo earlier in the tournament. And I mean, he's a very, very micro-intensive player. He will consistently drop, and once he smells blood in the water, he will not stop aggression. He'll control his units better. He'll control his drops better than any Terran. And his TVZ right now is regarded by a lot of Koreans to be the best in the world currently.
I had a chance to talk a little bit with Kane and Moonglade, get their impressions on the matchup here, so they gave me a few good things to talk about. And Kane nicely pointed out that Secret Spring was probably going to be vetoed here out of Soulkey, which did happen. Expedition Loss was vetoed out of Maru. And they covered a little bit, you know, of the style of both of these players. And apparently, Soulkey really is that guy who is very good at two-base Mutak, and I popularized it, and that makes him very strong in the other game against any kind of aggression that you can throw at him, and that Terrans like to do against Zerg, and basically propels him into the game with, you know, just being safe, maybe taking a later third than most other Zergs would. He likes big cloud of Mutas, you know, for counter harassment, and even though a Terran like Maru supposedly is very good at defense, there is kind of, you know, always a way of finding a hole in the defense and doing some damage for somebody like Soulkey. He always seems to find a way. Yeah. Whereas Maru, he's more like an all-around macro beast who's also very good at proxies. It's funny, that little contrast here in his play.
No secret to see Secret Springs vetoed here. Pretty good map for the proxies and for rallying units and that sort of thing. It's quite easy for the Terran to get that aggression on. That's what Maru's going to be looking for as we get into our first map on Overgrowth. This is his strength. He's going to play on his strengths, but just to throw things on the other side of the spectrum, Soulkey did say that he's preparing for the play here, and he does have a winning record, so we definitely can't ignore that. All the wonderful esports fans in Taipei, super glad to be here. Super glad to see you all. Maru fighting. Couldn't agree more with you, sir. We're getting into this match. God, I love TVZ. I cannot wait for this one to start, Todd. I'm so excited.
And here it is.
Here it is. Oh, God. And the bottom left here from Team Cooler Master, this is Soulkey. And in the top right here from Jin Air Green Wings, this is Maru.
All right, so one of the things that I really am going to follow is how many Turaks we see out of Maru in the best of 5. And as I said, look at this little cheeky boy here.
Well, that's going to be at least one.
Yes.
It's coming
Usually
down.
one is followed by 2 with Maru more often than not. Wasn't the case against Protoss earlier in the tournament, but yes, you see the second SCV here being sent out. But Soulkey, he knows. He knows that
he's going to see it immediately. This is amazing for Soulkey.
Soulkey.
Oh, man. He's read Maru so well here. And Maru's in this awkward situation where he just has to keeps going or cancels. Either way, it's terrible for Maru at the beginning of this game.
Oh man, the crowd went crazy here, and Maru here, he's definitely gonna wanna adjust as soon as possible. Maybe start another barracks back at home, try and defend this one with the initial SCV, which Soulkey had anticipated. So he's sending out drones. He's even going for the pole behind this. And Maru, it already feels like he's in quite a bit of trouble.
This drone actually got killed by the SCV there. It's actually a pretty nice pick off with the SCV.
Sick sniper.
It is, and he looks, he's taking his barracks back at home. He's going to wall off here. This is well and truly stopped.
Soulkey here making sure that his barracks does not complete. He's going to lose quite a bit of mining time for this, but kind of feels like it's worth it anyway. Like, you don't want that barracks to finish. Not just because, I guess making Marines here would be kind of irrelevant since he went pull first, but if the Terran player can fly it back home, then obviously it's going to be annoying. He's going to be that much more production that he has. So Soulkey chooses to delay that at least a little bit more, and Maru, by the look of things, might just go and finish that barracks if he can. How many seconds? I mean, yeah, I guess it's very close to finishing.
The Lings are probably going to swing past and see what's happening around that barracks. first Marine coming out. Now, Maru did get the gas as well behind this, so he's going to get a pretty quick factory, obviously, as he gets that Marine production happening. He's not going for Reapers or anything silly like that. He's actually cancelled that barracks, so he's not going to worry about it at all. Sending the SCV back home, and he's going to try and recover a regular game here after that pretty awkward start for Maru.
Moonglade was telling me earlier that generally Zergs, they will try to end the game with Mutaling Bane on 4 base without saturating the gases on the 4th base, so just basically get a ton of units and yeah, just keep on fighting and win from there. With, I guess, what we could call a slight lead here for Soulkey in this game. Can we call it a lead? I guess he's behind on drones.
Yeah, I mean, he did get that faster spawning pool, which means that the hatchery was a little bit later, and Maru recognized pretty quickly that stuff wasn't going to work. So he's
like Soulkey's behind on walkers. The only thing he really has going for him in this game is that he's getting queens out very, very early with the quick pull. He's going to go up to 3 queens very quickly, maybe even 4.
Yeah.
You think from there, is Maru ahead or is Soulkey ahead for you?
It's kind of pretty, I don't know. I mean, Soulkey's
man, help me.
He's catching up on drones, so I'd say that Soulkey's in a pretty good spot here.
Okay.
Maru's he's gonna get up to the Hellions, but the Hellions gonna be hitting a lot later. Well, not a lot later, but a little bit later. But that said, though, you were mentioning with his faster spawning pool, he's gonna have more queens, which means that he's gonna have more defense against the Hellions. Another gas being dropped here for Maru, so getting that second gas, he's not going to go full-on greed here. He's actually going to power up pretty quickly, and there's that starport.
I'm a little bit surprised that there is an Overlord checking the bottom right-hand side of the map, but who knows, man. He just didn't want to send it across the map, was afraid he might get caught maybe, so he sent it there to be safe. Soulkey's just going to spot that second orbital command here, about to finish. Behind this with the starport, I guess Maru, already having double gas, most likely gonna go for a Cloak Banshee, which, I mean, the Zergs I talked to mentioned it. Soulkey loves to go for the 2-base Muta, and in which case, he's really in a good position to defend against pretty much any kind of attack, as long as he doesn't get too greedy. And this might be a little bit greedy to start at 3rd base. You think so?
Yeah, he's starting at 3rd base. He only has 2 gases, so I don't think we'll see Muta just yet, but that could be his plan in some time. He's more just trying to connect the creep, and he knows that his 3rd hatchery is going to be in Maru's crosshairs. I mean, these Hellions aren't going to do much against that hatchery. They can tickle it all day long. The Queens will be able to shoot them off. What they're really looking for, obviously, is a juicy cluster of drones. And that Banshee's going to help out a lot. He's getting Cloak as well, as you'd expect with that fast second gas.
Honestly, after hearing Kane talk about Soulkeys versus mech, it sounds suicidal to ever try mech against him.
Oh, Maru's not a mech guy. He's gonna go bio. He loves bio.
You think he's bio no matter what?
I think so. And wow, already a great run by with these Hellions, getting 8 drones here. And a lot of them are actually going to still go down before the Hellions go. They might actually leave, and they will. All 4 of the Hellions still alive, just 1 going down, and he leaves with 3, getting 12 drones. 1 Hellion for 12 drones, Todd. That's a trade I'll take any day.
Yeah. 34 SCVs against 26 drones all of a sudden here. Soulkey is going to have to do some droning up, and that's exactly what he's doing with 11 more on the way.
Yeah, being produced right now. Look at that unit loss tab. Oh, man.
20-1. Wasn't it the same for Parting and...
It was probably the same ratio.
No, but it was Parting killed 20 units early on in that one game against just 1 loss and ended up losing the game anyway. So I guess it doesn't mean everything, but in this one, it's not looking that great here for Soulkey, who's going to be ready for the Cloak Banshee with a Spore in the main and natural at least.
Yeah, and he's starting his layer now, so we'll almost certainly be seeing Mutas pretty shortly as he gets the 1-1 upgrade for his melee. Banshee does Cloak, but I think the Overlord saw it before it cloaked. Queen already in position, Spore already made, so yeah, I'm not expecting him to take too much damage here.
Yeah, so Soulkey here, as long as he's careful enough, pulls the drones away, because Maru's always going to look for a little bit of a hole, you know, where the Spore cannot shoot to try and take down some units here and there. Double eBay finishing here is going to allow him to start 1-1 ASAP with his team startings. Everything's falling into place. The macro beast is working, man.
He's an absolute macro beast. Soulkey is too, though.
He's definitely going to take that base right below his main, right, as a 3rd, to attack to pressure the 3rd base of Soulkey.
Quite possibly. The positioning of the CC makes me think that maybe he wants to flow it over to the more regular far left side, and he has Hellion still alive as well, so... Oh, don't lose that Banshee, Maru. Just gets it out of there.
It's going to survive, and actually, yeah, he's flying to the other 3rd base that he can take.
And with the Hellions still alive and a lot of Marines, it does certainly look like he's going to have like a pretty quick response to any run by or anything like that for now. He'll be able to wall in with supply depots and bunkers as time goes on, and there's that Spire as to be expected. And the Baneling Nest as well, going down for Soulkey.
So Soulkey now at the 10th minute mark is only now finally starting to get a lot more workers than his opponent, with 58 drones to 50 SCVs. I mean, this feels really late. The only thing that Soulkey really has going for him in this game that I like is the creep spread, but sadly creep spread doesn't really directly kill units. It's gonna help with the banelings and zerglings and the engagements, but
it slows down bio pushes because Maru's not silly. He doesn't want to go too deep on creep without a critical mass of units and lots of Widow Mines.
He's no bomber.
No, and he's getting an armory and switching getting more reactors as well. So we'll probably be seeing Widow Mines from Maru or straight bio. I mean, he beat True with almost straight bio at the beginning of his game, switching into Widow Mines quite late. And this bio's going through. He's going to scan and get quite a few creep tumors if he opts to. He's just sitting there on creep, letting Soulkey look straight at him. He's actually setting up a Ling flank.
Oh, gonna try to deal with his Marines here, but yeah, Maru can just pick up and leave here. I don't think he cares too much about taking some damage. He's just gonna be able to hail that away here from the fight. Soulkey, I guess he also has his upgrades going faster than the Terrans here, which is nice. Oh man, every time I see 7 Crypt Tumors in the production tab, I'm like, this map's gonna be covered soon.
Well, Soulkey's doing a good job of it, and it's certainly gonna slow Maru down, but that said, he's kicking in the NOS right now, scanning and getting some creep tumors. Glittering up that gold base. And the Hellions did get wrapped around by the Lings, so they've been taken out of the equation, but the Banelings being morphed here, Soulkey setting up the defense against the Marines, and these actually, the fact that he still has these 2 Banshees alive is still great for Maru.
There is 5 Mutas on the way here. I think some of them might have already finished. Getting a cancel on the 4th base is nice, but if Soulkey can be patient, take an engagement, and make sure nothing of this leaves, it would be nice for him. But Maru is starting to pull so far ahead in supply. He
is indeed. He's got a lot of supply. It's actually a really good connection there on that medevac. And he's got another drop tool at the top of the main. He's actually going to donate these Banshees. Look, by the looks of things, if he doesn't react quickly.
Oh man, I would call this a Doom drop. Even though a Doom drop usually for me is 3 or 4 medivacs. 2 of these medivacs here. He's gonna drop a lot of units in the main, and at the same time, Maru's gonna attack again on that 4th base on the right-hand side that's been built.
And this is Maru's style, man. Those Widow Mine connections weren't amazing. Soulkey actually got a really good trade there, but Maru will continue to pressure on one side while hitting the other. This hatchery is dead. The Overlord in trouble as well. And that's a nice pick off there for Maru. He did lose a lot of units from that drop, though. A lot of units.
Yeah, being on 5 barracks here, Maru plus double factory. He's getting drilling claws. He's gonna get basically 3 Widow Mines at the time. Non-stop, he's getting his upgrades going. I just really like his position in this game overall. He's getting 3 more racks at the 3rd base, could go for a 4th. Anytime he's gonna max out so quickly.
His macro is incredibly 71 SCVs versus the 66 drones of Soulkey. It's actually insane.
He actually needs to cut, I guess.
Yeah, he needs to. He actually has made 10 too many, I feel like, thereabouts. But
10 too many?
Almost, yeah.
The Widow Mines here, the position is gonna be important before he engages, but look at this. He's using the right avenue to set up in a position where it's going to be so hard for Soulkey to fight.
You get some units on the high ground with a Widow Mine, and you have the bulk of your units on the low ground, and the Mutas are forced to come in and try and engage. And look at this leapfrog of Widow Mines here. He wants the Mutas and the Zerglings to come in and attack him. And meanwhile, once again, dropping on the left side of the map.
Yeah, he's setting up a double medivac drop on the main.
Soulkey coming. Oh my god, that Widow Mine connection killed every single Baneling, and plenty of Pyro left over for Maru. Really good trade for the Terran player here, and the drop in the main's going to go down as well. Soulkey doesn't have that many units, he doesn't have defensive Banelings. The army supply of Maru is 100 over 70, 2-2 just finished. This is not looking good for Soulkey at this point of the game, Todd.
Yes, Zerglings are coming in a straight line into the main to try and defend, and those Marines, they're going to do even more damage. The Mutas defending by
going
themselves.
down, oh no. 3 Mutas getting down there, and he's continuing to push. The 4th hatchery is dead, and he's moving towards the 3rd. The parade has begun, he's on 3rd CC. His barracks production is non-stop. He's got more workers, more army, 3 on the way, making 10 Marines at a time. 2 medevacs being made at a time. The Widow Mines being dropped as well. And these Baneling connections are just not good enough. GG, Maru gets himself game number 1.
The production tab here at the end of this game kind of tells the story here of how good this guy is in macro games. Not only attacking, but at the same time just getting this endless stream of Marines, Medivacs, and Widow Mines. A Terran player just swarmed the Zerg player. That just happens.
Yeah, man. Such is the nature. When you get that 3cc, the parade push is literally out-zerging the Zerg.
The parade, I never thought of that word. It's actually quite right.
It's true, you just don't stop. You need to cut into the reinforcements of the Terran, like get flanks and that stuff. But Soulkey didn't have enough units, he had to keep on the defensive. And we just want to talk StarCraft all day, but we have to have a short break here just for a minute and a half. Game number 2 between Maru and Soulkey coming up very soon. Don't go away. G'day guys, welcome back. Maynard and Todd here at Intel Extreme Masters in Taipei, ready to get into game number 2. It's the second semi-final between Maru and Soulkey continues. Maru currently 1 game up on the Zerg player. He's looking to change that winning record, Todd.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what do you think about the maps here? We had Overgrowth played first. We're going to be on Vanny Research Station next, and then there will be Deadwing, Catalina, and Inferno. How do you feel about these maps, having seen what happened in the first game? Does it make you even more confident Maru's going to 3-0?
I actually, these maps are relatively decent for Zerg players to be able to get to the fast 3 hatcheries where they feel a lot more comfortable. But that said, though, I think that Soulkey might need to change things up and really just know that Maru is going to be so aggressive and go for a bit more two-base play, perhaps.
Yeah.
Fast muter, maybe, you know, roaches, much more roaches, something to try and bust through Maru and get inside his head a little bit here and just mess with his momentum.
You know, at first it felt like pulling the drones like he did was the right move. But then losing a drone the way he did is always going to be wrong, no matter what. So that was definitely a mistake. But then he kept 2 drones here for the longest time. And I think that was a mistake. He should have kept just 1. In which case, if you're a Terran player, you need not only 1 SCV to finish the barracks, but you need another SCV to cover the SCV that's building. So that would have been a massive win economically here for Soulkey, who ended up being quite a few drones behind. And yeah, he was just in trouble from the start. And then after that, you know, those Hellions swooped in, started killing drones, and then you just fall even more behind. Maru's defense, though, wall-offs everywhere, wall-off at the 3rd base, bunker, literally no space for Soulkey to make anything happen.
Yeah, and keeping those Hellions alive as well, I mentioned it during the first game, was so good for Maru. He got, obviously, more drone kills, also already being equal with workers after that, and getting the drone kills solidified himself a great spot, took his 3rd really quickly, and the Hellions, with the bio, just completely shut him down. And we're getting into game number 3 here. Oh boy, let's do it. In the southernmost position here from TCM Gaming, this is Soulkey. And the northernmost position, this beast, looking to get himself into that final. Can he do it, though? This is Jinaz's Maru.
Some people might argue he's just a kid, but some others call him the Beast Terran.
Well, we were talking about, well, the panel was talking about the Royal Roaders back in the day, and Brood War, Jaedong, and Flash being kids when they won, but I would have called them beasts back then, too.
Yeah. Life in Maru, they're so young, man. It's like 17 and 18. I'm older than both of them put together almost.
I was going to say that if both players are in the final, their ages combined is basically my age. Off by maybe a few years here and there.
These guys are so good, man. This is actually insane. They practice a ton and it shows every single time. Maru, to me, he's always been one of those Command Center first big fans. Like I used to play against him back in the days, you know, when I was in Korea on the ladder a little bit. And back then he was already proxying a lot, doing a lot of CC first. He's always been very good at that. And even though people know it, you never can really know exactly which one he's gonna go for. So it's risky, you know. Every once in a while you can try and counter one of the builds that you think he might go for. But if you're wrong, then a lot of the time you're gonna lose instantly. And if you're right, he's still so good that he might still be able to pull it off. So Soulkey here didn't want to take any big risk with some kind of, you know, early on cheese or rush. Just went for the spawning pool and then hatchery.
Yeah.
So that means he's not even going to have to scout for 2 racks because he feels safe enough with the pull first.
Yeah, he didn't drone scout either, so he's feeling pretty good here. I mean, he made the pull first because Maru did actually Reaper cheese true on this map and completely wrecked him with it as well. He made 4 or 5 Reapers, got up to 6 to 7 and just wrecked him with bunkers. And he was just being as defensive as possible. But that said, though, that means that it's much better for Maru, who actually went CC first before making his racks and gas. So Maru actually looking good at the beginning of the game with his build order choice.
Yeah, that series was actually total demolition, thinking back on it.
He embarrassed True. It was amazing. But Soulkey putting up a lot more of a fight.
So far,
yeah.
First game, even though it didn't go too well for him. On this map, Soulkey's style of possibly going for the 2-base muta with, you know, a 3rd base later on. And this map being, you know, I feel like the right way to say it would be very melee orientated in the middle of the map, you know, with the always you're going to clash and all that. How do you feel this would go if we saw a similar game as the previous one, but with Soulkey not taking any damage early on?
Well, I mean, if he doesn't take drone damage, he's going to be. He is a macro monster as well, along with Maru. He'll be able to power up and get those units. It's just he had to obviously spend lava into recovering there, so it's hard to say, but he would have obviously had more tools to be able to get the job done against Maru. It all comes down to engagements in TVZ. A good Widowmine hit or a good Baneling hit can make all the difference whether you're ahead or behind.
Very interesting here, by the way. He's taking a second gas on his natural. Maru, instead of taking it in the main where it possibly could get scouted by a single Overlord, which is actually quite far away in this case.
He's probably hiding that he wants to probably drop a quick starport again.
Yeah, and most likely go for the Banshee again. I've heard it from you, and I trust you. He's not a mech guy, he's not gonna go mech.
No, he likes his bio.
You think not even in one game?
I mean, it's
is
not
there a map where mech is the best? I was gonna say better than bio, but just the best overall, like out of all the maps?
Well, Overgrowth's not too bad, but all the games I've seen of Maru, he does tend to favor bio. It's his style, the drop play, the counterattacks, the fast and furious punch, 1-2 punch one side to the other side. It's tough to do with mech. I guess with Hellions, yeah, sure, but mech's more about the death ball, the slow push, and Maru is not a slow player.
What's happening here? Soulkey kept on mining gas this whole time.
Yeah.
He completed speed already. He's taking a second gas on his natural, kind of like Maru is doing. And at the same time, he's starting a third base. Is that third base? Okay, yeah, he's making 16 leagues. He wants to go for a bust. That third base, he knew was going to be scouted.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to try to go through the right-hand side. That Overlord in the middle of the map is allowing him exactly to see where the Hellions go and where they are. Both of these Overlords.
Yeah, it's really nice position for those Overlords. Absolutely sees it in the high ground. And the Overlord and the Hellions obviously can't see where the Overlords are, but he can guess well enough. And Soulkey's doing the run around here. He's going to try and clinch himself a win. And this is exactly actually what I wanted to see from Soulkey, to get aggressive and fight back aggression with aggression.
He's going to send the magnet in, the Overlords, to try and pull some units off Maru out of position. And then if he sees that the wall's open, he's going to stream in there with the Zerglings.
He's actually trying to hide. Most of his Lings are actually in danger of Hellions here. Most of them are still at his third.
The Lings that he already hid out there, they are for being morphed into Banelings, and are going to start getting morphed into Banelings. He's going to try to go for a surround at the same time.
Oh, he nearly gets the Hellions. Oh my god, if Maru loses these Hellions, he's going to be in so much trouble against the Baneling Bust. And so far, the surrounds were so good for Soulkey, and these Hellions are going down. Oh, now what does Maru have left?
Do you think that Maru realized that there is a Baneling Bust? I don't think so, because he's not starting any bunkers right now. He's still getting Banshees with Cloak. Oh my god.
He hasn't
this
seen
could be a
thing.
quick game, Maynard.
I think so, man. There's a lot of Lings on the way. The Banshee's coming back, but here we go. The Banelings are coming up, and they're going to knock down on this door. The front door is wide open, and in come the bugs. Lots of trouble. The Marines have to find themselves a nice spot here. The Banshee will help against the Banelings, but it's the Speedlings that are really the clincher here.
The building positioning
this is really nice.
Maru.
Yeah, really nice for the Marines here.
Against these many Banelings, though, I don't know if it's going to help the third CC.
Oh boy, here come the Banelings into the main mineral line. He's pulled all the SCVs down into the natural. They're here to cancel stim. No stim for Maru. But that was a lot of Banelings. How much has Maru lost? He's lost 8 SCVs, but he's cleaned up all the Lings.
It's an even walker count with 41 drones to 43 SCVs, so Soulkey hasn't done enough damage. And he's remade quite a few Zerglings behind this, but Maru's just gonna rewall with 2 depots that he starts now. If Soulkey commits more to this, he's gonna have to spend a lot of money, and it's risky, so he tries to go up the ramp with just pure Lings, but it's just not gonna happen, so I guess this just wasn't worth it.
Well, Soulkey's going for the attack again, and Maru might have thought that he's going to try and just and go back to his own side of the map, but he hasn't. His Banshees are on the other side of the map, and Banshees are very good at picking off those Banelings.
A Banshee just comes out
here we go.
Stop off without an add-on. Okay, let's see.
And the Banelings are coming through. Actually, a lot of them went down. They're only going to get 1 supply depot this time. The Marines want to find that hotspot, but Soulkey got the surround. Beautiful surround with the Zerglings. He's going to get a lot of the Marines here, but with the Banshee and the Marines, will Maru be able to hold it this time?
He needs some economic damage. He needs to do more economic damage. He's still 53 drones to 45 SCVs right now. Oh, and he hit a single Zergling. His Soulkey's trying to get a Baneling in there. On the natural.
That 1 pixel of black spot, he's hiding a Baneling, and it's so sick. He's got 6 SCVs here, but that's still not enough, Todd.
Oh, the Baneling.
That's
Baneling's about to finish.
Yeah, here he goes.
Can he get a few kills here?
Well,
he's not using it.
Standing still, he's probably not going to get a whole lot done.
Soulkey.
Well,
he forgot about the Baneling,
oh wow, those Banshees got very, very low.
It's 64 drones to 49 SCVs all of a sudden, so that attack in the end did quite a bit of damage here out of Soulkey. Maru clearly underestimated this attack.
And this gave Soulkey a bit of space. Now he can get that Spire up. He's on his third. He's on 3 hatcheries. He's getting his creep spread happening. The Banshees look like they've been shut down. It didn't look like he got maybe 2 or 3 drone kills to those Banshees, but not too much.
Even though Soulkey is in a good place in terms of economy, he hasn't started his 1-1, whereas Maru is about to finish, and he already has an armory, I think, as well. Okay. No, he just started actually, so it's going to be a little bit before he can start that 2-2, but I think I like Maru's position a lot better here.
Yeah, I think Maru's actually in a pretty good spot. You can see his supply starting to kick into gear now that he's got his add-ons back on. His mines are coming out. The Marauders are starting to come out as well to soak up the Bane hits. And 1-1 already done.
There has been so much action as well that in the midst of all this, it's been really tough for Soulkey to creep spread effectively in the meantime. So his creep spread is actually pretty weak in this game. At the 12th minute, you know, he just has a bunch of tumors, but really not that many.
Compared to game 1 and Overgrowth, absolutely. Soulkey having the tower here does mean that he gets to see this medevac as soon as possible. He's medevacs and he brings units back into the back natural to defend.
Ooh. Should
get denied here. The Mutas are going to actually get a medevac here. Lots of Marines went down there. Gets a Muta, but I would say that was a good trade for Soulkey. But this is nice. Maru, this is staple Maru. Attack on one side while attacking on the other. Lots of Marines here. The hot pickup is good. Doesn't get the baneling connections he wants. And the Cloak Banshees will split.
Might have to get out here because an Overseer should be on the way momentarily to help detect them and kill them.
He only wants to lose 1 Banshee, so he splits the 3 off into different directions. Maru tries another drop, but Soulkey with too many units in the main with a nice denial again.
Are we going to see that big macro game we've been waiting for?
Well, you know what? Remember how we were talking about parades last game, Todd? The parade, you can hear the brass band is warming up its pipes, man. He is ready to start pushing here. He's got his crosshairs on this hatchery. This 1 Banshee getting more drone kills at the back. Will get denied eventually. Hellbat's joining the fray with the leftover Hellions.
Mixing in some Hellbats here, interesting.
Yeah,
I still think he wants to go for mostly Widowmines.
He did in the last game as well with the last Hellions. Widowmines here actually could connect on his bio. He looks like he's target firing, and he does get a lot of the banelings here. The splits are good for Maru. The Mutas aren't high enough in number to be able to deal with this. His upgrades are better. 1-1 about to finish for Soulkey to be equal in upgrades, but Maru's +2 is well ahead. His supply tells a tale at this point. He's killed 10 drones during this.
This guy looks
11 drones. They're still going down. This Banshee uncontested during that attack on the 4th.
Maru is so good. Harassing everywhere at the same time, always pulling very far ahead in supply. This guy looks unbeatable in TVZ.
I said it, man. The Koreans agree with me as well. Best TVZ in Korea right now. We're watching it unfold right before our very eyes. The parade is back, and it's looking better than ever. Huge, strong, lots of Marines. The Marauder even in there to soak up the baneling attacks. Widowmine still alive just in case he gets that position in the top of the 4th again.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Soulkey here defending, it's always going to be so hard. Maru standing at the edge of the creep. 70 army supply to 86.
Soulkey doesn't have enough units, Todd. He's only got 3 banelings here. Maru pulls back, +2 attack about to finish, which is going to make things a little bit easier for him. Actually, the Widowmane connections weren't great for Maru there, so Soulkey will be able to push this attack back. Maru actually doesn't want to lose too many medevacs. Save your medevacs, Maru. He's reinforcing here. Some of the SCVs being pulled as well. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot more.
Yep, he's only making Marines now. +2 armor on the way, 2-2 on the way for Soulkey, but still, the upgrade advantage is for Maru. He's setting up turrets back at home and has begun Thor production. Getting a medevac there. Nice pick off for Soulkey.
Getting ship plating as well. Definitely going to help. And that's 17 banelings are morphing now. Soulkey, he's trying to hold on. He's trying to get a good count of banelings. He's cut Muta production for now.
No, he's losing Mutas to just 4 Marines. More Marines are coming down here, but he is on production, which is nice, but he's losing Mutas, which are very expensive. He can't lose Mutas here. They need to be here to deal with the medevacs and the parade push.
Oh, that was not too bad for Soulkey here. He needs to hold comfortably for once if he wants to be in a good position in this game, but he's sending units in a lot of banelings.
The Mutas are coming back here, and this is actually good for Soulkey. He's going to get a lot of the medevacs here.
And for the first time here, he's going to be ahead in supply. Okay, not for long, but it happens. It did happen, I saw it.
The medevacs dying here really is the big blow that Soulkey got against Maru. The medevacs need to live for the parade push to continue, and at the moment, the parade push is being stifled.
You're absolutely right. All of a sudden, there is a single medevac out for Maru.
Yeah, that's so good for Soulkey.
Brilliant.
Yes. Now, the withered plating, he's going to have some pretty beefy Thors. 2-2 on the way for Soulkey. He really wants that to finish. It's going to make his Lings and Banelings so much scarier. And Maru keeps that 4th alive. Now, with 4 bases versus the 4 bases of Zerg, obviously, the longer that goes, it's going to be better for the Terran.
Soulkey is starting to saturate that 4th base, but I mean, Maru's gonna take his comfortably no matter what. PF it, get some turrets. He's actually very low on turrets. He has 2 turrets, oh no, 3 in the natural.
Oh, the Medivacs are naked again. Newton's nearly got one there, but he just reacted in time.
That is some July-Zerg hunting here.
Now the Thors are the scary part. Oh god, that's a big volley there on the Mutas. They're trying to find a better spot. These Thors have the +1 plating with just about to finish here. Drilling Claws also for the Widowmine is going to make things easier for Maru. The Mutas are in the main on the production, and they're heading towards the natural where most of his turrets are. So he just needs to pull those SCVs a little bit, and he should be fine.
Thors are here, Maynard, and the army of Maru is looking quite scary. Soulkey even supply blocked here. 60
nice
to 100 supply to 100.
Oh yeah. Almost double supply for Maru and Army. The Banlings are looking for juicy connections. The Thor's doing a good job here, but Soulkey hasn't got enough. He's pulled the drones back again. The Mutas are in the main trying to get damage done in the production, but all the Thors are still alive. The Army supply always advantage for Maru in this game, and the hatchery is still in big trouble. The Thors are still alive. Down it goes. He can pick up the Thors and leave.
And the parade, man.
Yeah.
Parade is active. Those Mutas counter-attacking really are not doing that much for Soulkey. They're killing a few SCVs here and there, but he lost his 4th base against a Terran that's on the 4th himself.
Maru's unit movements, he's just reading Soulkey. He is one step ahead every step of the way. Soulkey has had some nice engagements. He's gotten some medevacs. He's managed to get some nice Baneling connections, but it's starting to really snowball for Maru here. And when it snowballs and it becomes a matter of numbers, there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Soulkey needs more and more efficient trades like he had earlier in the game today.
A 3rd Thor, he's on the way here and he's about to complete. Maru's gonna start again, moving across the map. He has so much army supply every single time. He has almost double the army supply here.
Once again.
135 to 67. This is ridiculous.
The Mutas come and find the medevacs, but Thors pop out of them. And Mutas need to leave. They can't deal with that.
No magic box is going to help them here against this army.
No, I don't think so. That's too many Marines, man. Too many Marines on the dance floor. The Banelings, though, want a connection with those Marines. The Marauders at the front really helping Maru out with a splash. The Marines not pre-split. He doesn't even split at all. He just keeps attacking. He's just going to keep pushing through. And GG, Maru. He is your finalist. Oh, he's got one more. Oh, my bad. He's leaving the booth here. I'm wondering what's going on. He's looking good to be the finalist at least.
Not yet, Maynard.
Not yet. I'm getting ahead of myself, man.
One more map win, and he will be your finalist to make the 2 kids, the 2 kids on the block, the 2 kids on fire.
We won it. We won it.
The finalist here, possibly.
Yeah.
All else will have a ZVZ, that's fine too.
Well, actually,
Soulkey kind of is the king of comebacks. Like Red Eye was talking a little bit about it. This guy does not really get phased himself, even when he's a few games behind, even though he kind of looks a little bit worried right now.
Yeah, he does look a little bit rustled.
Rustled, that's the word you pick.
Yeah. So Maru getting out of the booth, taking a bit of a break here. Not sure what's going on. We haven't got any word, but the games will continue.
Maybe he didn't need a break. He just wanted to give Soulkey one.
Maybe.
You look like you need some time to refocus, bro.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure that Maru, with his emotions and sort of his feelings towards the other players here, I'm not sure he actually cares if Soulkey needs a break or not.
How much better does Soulkey need to play to win here?
He will need to go up 1 or 2 levels. Similar to what I said about True after his first game against Maru.
Like, I'm trying to picture what needs to happen in those games for him to win against a Maru that will just play at the same level and same consistency in his defense, offense, and macro. And I'm having a hard time picturing anything, really, unless somehow he can summon some High Templars and storm the bio. It's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah. I'm not
it's weird because they had similar supply at some points, but I guess there was a little bit of an upgrade difference in a few of the fights. But they had equal supplies, so for a moment I thought that Soulkey might be okay. But then they fought, and Maru just traded so much more cost effectively. Do you think Soulkey is messing up the fights a little bit, or is it really, you know, the fact that he just didn't do enough damage with the aggression that put him behind? And even though they had the same supply, he was still behind.
I would have to say the fact that his aggression got beaten back so easily.
Maybe both.
Yeah, I mean, it actually wasn't. It was very, very close to Soulkey getting critical damage, actually, but it was fortunate building position and very deliberate building position by Maru to be able to get those Marines in between. The Speedlings couldn't get that surround. They got the surround the second time, but Maru knew that that was what Soulkey was going for and reacted. And just got ahead. I mean, Soulkey put so much gas and minerals with those speedlings and banelings into that attack, and Maru didn't really lose too much at all. I mean, he lost like eight SCVs maybe.
Yeah.
I can't really remember. He can always come back from that. I mean, he's on 2 bases.
Maru being up 2-0 this way here in this series so far against Soulkey, you think if he 3-0s here with the same kind of game as we saw in the first two, is he the overwhelming favorite to win this Intel Extreme Master of Taipei against Life in finals?
I would say that Maru would be the favorite against every Zerg, but Life I cannot pick it because Life is life. He's the champion.
Life is life.
Yeah, exactly.
And life is life, of course.
That's right. I mean, if anyone could beat Life at this tournament, you're looking at him right now, currently talking to the admins. Best TVZ in Korea, as the Koreans said themselves.
Well, if he's best TVZ in Korea, he's best TVZ in the universe, because I'm pretty sure Koreans are the best at StarCraft 2 in the universe. So
there you go. Dream's quite good at TVZ, Gumiho as well. But this kid really got the momentum right now with that 2-0 lead.
I just can't see what you need to achieve in order to beat this guy in a ZvT.
Like I said, I want to see more 2-base Muta. I want to see Roaches, something from Soulkey to be aggressive, similar to like, you know, I mean, if we want to bring up ancient history here, Soulkey was in a similar position against Innovation in a GSL final. Then he switched on the aggression. He started the all-ins, and they managed to switch that momentum out, and then for the macro game. And I mean, it's been brought up by Red Eye. It's been brought up by a few people. He's the comeback king. So if he's the king of comebacks versus the best TVZ in the world, that's like an immovable object versus unstoppable force.
That sounds like a great challenge here for Soulkey to try and win this one.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I favored Maru at the beginning of the game, and I can't help but strengthen my favor of Maru after seeing those first two games. He looks so in charge of this matchup that I don't see how Soulkey can do it, but I would not be extremely surprised if he managed to get a couple maps here or even push back.
Maru so far hasn't dropped a map in this tournament against Zerg, and if he was to 3-0 this man here on your screen, Soulkey, he will face Life in the finals. I'd be pretty happy about that.
He only lost one map to Hyun in the Taipei qualifiers, but I can guarantee that map involved Roaches.
And he actually beat Life 2-0 in it.
Yeah.
He beat Rogue 2-0 as well. That's pretty insane. In Pro League, though, he hasn't been doing very well against Zerg. He lost his last 3 matches, actually against Life, Dark, and Su, but those were best of ones.
Well, there's the team player, and then there's the individual league player. And I would have picked Maru as a team player. You know, I know him from Pro League. Pro League is generally what he plays. He doesn't really play individual tournaments too much, not since back in the day.
Well, he should.
He's debuting here at the Intel Extreme Masters, and this might actually be his first. You know, he might be 1 from 1 with his international tournaments at the moment. He's looking so good.
Do you think that Soulkey still has it in him to somehow come back in the series?
Yeah. I mean,
you know, so far he hasn't really been playing the style that we had anticipated and that he's known for with the 2-base Muta.
Yeah. I'm actually very surprised the decision from Soulkey to. I mean, the maps are pretty good for going up to 3 bases, but some of Soulkey's decisions, not his the engagements aren't horrible. He's actually had some really good engagements. He got medevac snipes, quite a lot of medevac snipes actually in that last game, which are really good for the Zerg. But just the decisions from Soulkey, his choices in the games. Definitely different than what we expected here. But in the top right, the player we're just talking about, he's going to need to win 3 games in a row if he's going to make this grand final. This is TCM Soulkey. And in the bottom left, he'd be feeling so confident here. 1 map away from meeting Life in the grand final. This is Jin Green Wings Maru. And it sounds like he's a crowd favorite as well.
Oh, this man, just so good overall.
Yeah.
As impressive, if not more impressive than Life, I think. And on this map, wouldn't be surprised if he went for something like a Commence Force once again. By the look of things, Soulkey not going to be cheesing. Is Soulkey going to go pull first again, though? Being potentially scared of some kind of 2-racks. And with the positioning on that barracks here, looks like we might have some Reaper opener.
Yeah.
I guess, since he's leaving space for the reactor to go down.
Very well could be. He's definitely got a bit of room there. It's so that he doesn't need to lift off to put the add-on there when he makes that full wall off. And he is, he's not getting gas, so it can't be Reaper. He's just going to have to go Marine opening. With the SEV movement was kind of jolting back and forth. It looked like he wanted to go CC first and then quickly change to go for the command center. So this is going to be Marine first. Not going to have enough gas here, but he will be able to at least switch over quickly to a factory and get on, switch it on to that reactor, as so many Terrans like to do against Zerg. Soulkey once again is actually not once again. He's actually gone pull first, then he's gone, hatchery first, then he's gone pull and gas. So he's playing a bit more comfortable ZvT. He's playing like he's not 2 maps down in a best of 5.
Last time that Maru played against Life in Pro League, which was not too long ago, Life crushed Maru, and guess what build they used? 2 base mutas, defended perfectly, made a bunch of banelings, attacked, killed Maru right out. Actually made it look easy. So maybe Soulkey needs to remember that game, because I'm pretty sure he saw it, and try and do something similar. I mean, it was on Foxtrot, which definitely, I guess, helped in attacking, in counter-attacking for Life.
Well,
it's very hard to defend the space around the natural.
I absolutely agree with you. It would be a great choice from Soulkey, because Maru has been going for Banshee. He's been going for Banshee openings, he's been pushing with Hellbats, and Water Mute is amazing against both of those units. Soulkey sees the SCV of Maru swinging around here, trying to fake a sporting position. But
Is Maru looking for overlords here? Kinda seems like he knows the scouting pattern, possibly, of his opponents.
He's a good Overlord hunter, but Soulkey actually isn't going too deep with these Overlords. He's keeping them over high ground and hidden from the Marines, so he hasn't successfully found any Overlords yet. It doesn't look like he's going to either. Switching on to that... switching on to the reactor or the barracks, so he can switch over and get the factory as well. The Lings of Soulkey looking for any of those Marines to protect those precious, juicy Overlords from getting snapped out of the sky.
They're pretty far from home here.
Maru fast expanding. He looks like he has to pause here.
With speed on the way here and halfway through done, and Soulkey's team still mining gas, what do you think the chances are that he does something like an all-in, a bust, you know? Like, surely he has to be going for something like that, right? You don't keep on mining with 2 on the extractors for nothing.
Yeah, generally not. You'd expect for...
It's just 2, though.
Yeah, it is just 2. So maybe he might be going for a quicker lair. Maybe he might be going for 2 base muta. Maybe he might be going for roaches. A better Zerg than I've ever been will be able to have to tell me that. And see the admin here helping up Maru, whatever his issue is.
We need some 2 base muta, man. It just needs to happen.
I want to see it one time in the series. I want to see how Maru reacts against it. It's actually as dominant as Maru's looked in this tournament, puffing at his cheeks with that water-like flash, trying to channel the god himself.
It doesn't look entertained one bit.
He almost looks bored. Both players look like they're ready to go. Both players seem pretty happy.
Yeah, you're saying?
Oh, I was just saying that I'd like to see how Maru reacts against US Munich, because actually, even though Maru's looked so dominant in this matchup, on the ladder, it's kind of switching a little bit in Zerg's favor again, because they're going for the more aggressive, fast unit, not favoring for the quick hatcheries, more and more drones like Zerg's used to. They're getting the quicker mutas, they're getting the roaches, they're going for Ling floods. Stuff like that's actually switched the win rates a little bit towards a more equal sort of footing, almost with a Zerg advantage on the ladder in current win rates. So, I mean, the meta game at the highest level, obviously something that I'm not going to be a part of because I'm terrible at the game, but better players have told me so.
You give yourself too little credit, Maynard. Life's going up to 3 queens here very quickly, so he's going to be able to... Soulkey, sorry. I had Life in my head. Soulkey's going up to 3 queens, so he's going to be able to creep spread very nicely from early on. And so far, still just the 1 gas with 2 drones on it. Speed's about to finish. Let's see if we see anything special here out of him. Whereas for Maru, for the first time, it's going to be a single gas into a starport. He hasn't taken a second refinery to go for some kind of cloak Banshee. So maybe just a Viking or a Banshee without cloak.
Quite possibly. I mean, this is
Medivac. So, okay, so no. So he's going to go for an elevator.
Yep. Hellions coming out here and going to get a Winter Mine as well. So he's going to let up a Medivac with the Marines while pushing. And Soulkey going for the pretty quick flare here and dropping the extra gases. Looking like that we got our wish, Todd.
Yeah. Soulkey, he saw that there was no tech lab this time on the starport, so he knows that there's not going to be any Banshee headed for him anytime soon. So he must know that it's either a Viking or a Medivac, with obviously a preference on the Medivac. He's going to have to be careful. He's going to have to make enough unit to be able to defend against everything he's going to be hit by, which is, in this case, 6 Marines and a Widowmine in the Medivac, and 3 Hellions, I guess, into the natural.
Yeah.
Is he going to go for the elevator, I think? I think usually you see, you know, the drop in the main and the attack and the natural here for Terran.
With 2 hatcheries and 3 gases. Well, actually, it's 4 gases now. Yeah, there's that 2 base muta. Spore crawlers are up already for a Soulkey. So
how do you like that spore in the main?
the spore in the main?
Yeah, the position like doesn't seem like it's going to be able to shoot, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising. It looks like he's ready for Banshee here, but Maru obviously not going ready for it. He's going to drop another barracks in that reactor. The Overlords have seen in position. The Queen's in position as well. This drop shouldn't do too much here.
Oh,
Soulkey's all over it like white on rice.
Shoots.
Oh, God, this is actually very close to going down. Wow.
Ooh, that was close. And in the end, not able to do any damage in this game. Maru for the first time. He has not killed any single unit this game. This is about to change here with the Port Viking that he made, but Life is the only one that has killed units this game. Oh, actually, he lost 3 units and killed nothing, but those were 2 Links and 1 Overlord, which is definitely not the end of the world here.
Not
for
really.
him.
Losing an Overlord kind of sucks.
Definitely better than the previous games. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Soulkey already looking better at this game than the first 2, and that's good for Zerg fans out there because he is 2 maps down. Oh God, that's so nice. Catching those Hellions out in the middle of the map for almost no damage. And we have to pause again.
The Spire is very, very close to finishing Maynard, and we have, I guess, a little bit less than 800 gas. He should have 800 gas by the time the Spire finishes. So I guess we're going to see 8 Mutas here, or I guess 7 Mutas and Zerg Flyer attacks level 1 very quickly into this game before Maru really hits with anything else, because he lost basically his map control here with the units that he had at the Watchtower. So
yeah, the Hellions dying is terrible.
Soulkey is in a great position here from here. He's on 52 drones against 44 SCVs. He's got 2 more about to come out. I quite like his position.
He has a lot of Lings. He's made a Baneling nest. But I think that most of his gas is going to go into the mutas here. He definitely wants a nice muta count. And earlier in this game, you can almost just park it on the production. You don't generally have enough production to just reinforce against that many mutas into your main at this part of the game. But Maru is actually looking not too bad in his main with his production. Stim, 3/4 of the way done. So at least Stim will be finished before the mutas pop. But it's still going to be a little bit difficult. We'll see how this engagement goes with the Lings heading towards the wall. I mean, Maru at least has a full wall off for his supply depots and units in position to be able to bat away those Lings. But if Soulkey chooses to go for Banelings, he could actually not only supply block Maru, but flood the natural, and that would be bad for him without the Hellions.
Maru went into a lot of barracks here, but his team pack is still not that close to finishing, and we didn't have a 3rd CC starting yet, whereas Soulkey just started his 3rd base. So overall, I mean, Soulkey is not super far ahead, but I would say he's definitely ahead in this game. And
yeah, since catching those Hellions, definitely it was even up until that point. He's got a bit of a lead now.
He already has a few Overlords very nicely placed, by the way, around his base too, to spot any kind of potential drops that could be headed his way, which is always good.
Yeah, very common drop paths. Overlord spread looking pretty good around the main there, and you know, you'll be able to see it yourself when we get back to the game. And he's getting a 3rd hatchery behind this as well.
Is it going to be one of those great comebacks Soulkey is known for?
Could be. Wouldn't count it out.
Soulkey seems like he likes a challenge or something. Like he waited being down 0-2 before he finally busted out, you know, the build that he's known to be really, really good at.
Maybe he thinks he's the good guy in every single anime in the history of time, where he just gets beaten up by the seemingly undefeatable bad guy.
You always lose the first fight, but then you come back and then you
come back with some new special power, and all of a sudden you're the hero, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that happened." And Maru, with his Vikings, only got the 1 Overlord kill.
So far.
He's nowhere near supply blocking Soulkey, but it is nice damage. I mean, it's.
What's been your favorite series so far this tournament? There's too many.
I think Hero Maru probably is my favorite series so far. There were some pretty damn high caliber games.
I don't think too many people really. It's probably like, I would say maybe the game where almost nobody expected Maru to win.
Yeah, most people favored Hero. I favored Hero. Everyone at the desk favored Hero. And the stats even favored Hero. But
I mean, in an Intel Extreme Masters, you can never go against Hero. Like this guy,
this is his home, but
pretty much always delivers.
Like I said, Maru's just he's come to this house, kicked in the door,
get out.
Made Carmack buy him a sofa bed because he's moving in. It's his house now.
The new kid is here, and he's here to stay, man.
That's right. Hero watching from the sidelines today. It's a little bit sad to see, but he's always got a smile on his face. It's actually going to be a really big year for Hero. Well, we're just talking about him. Looking great in the WCS points. Well and truly, like he's 700 points ahead of the rest of the table in WCS.
That's definitely a nice lead to have early. It's very early in the year.
Very early.
I can't believe they scored this many points
Actually,
already.
Hero has as many points as Flash had at the end of the season before BlizzCon.
Yeah.
And
well, yeah, Flash didn't have that many points.
No, but I'm just saying,
yeah.
like, it was still 1,700 or something.
Yeah. He built up.
Yeah. So I think if Life actually wins this tournament, he will be almost equal, if not overtake, Hero in WCS points. He'll get 750 from the start.
I mean, with Life shape in this tournament, come on.
Yeah, well,
there's no way this guy's not going to make BlizzCon and then not make the finals. Again.
You'll almost guarantee that players like Maru, if they continue to be in the international tournaments, which you get so many points from, and also, you know, doing well in SSL and GSL as well, you're guaranteed a lot of points. I feel like with the new WCS system, a lot of the players that we wanted to see at the BlizzCon last year, we're going to be seeing in 2015. With two big Korean tournaments awarding points, international tournaments with the invites, and a lot of these players, like Soulkey on camera right now, being on foreign teams, non-Korean teams, means he's going to be flying out a lot and going to a lot of these events. And Maru, after getting a taste, if he gets himself a satisfactory finish, and I'm sure satisfactory for him is first place only, he's going to be looking to come to more Intellistrain Masters as well, especially when they're this close to Korea. It's literally a very close flight to Korea. I think it's like 2 hours or something. Actually, it looks like the game's back on. So we got to switch into that pretty shortly. The unpause has happened. We'll switch in any time here. Stone-faced. Completely stone-faced. Does not even care. More Hellions being caught in the middle of the map. This is even worse for Maru if he gets those taken out by the Zerglings, but the Duke's too good this time. A ball of Marines to help out the Hellion brethren in the middle of the map.
8 Mutas have completed already, and we have Zerg Flare attacks level 1 on the way with double evolution chambers, so Soulkey here, he's finally got his unit of choice. He's going to be able to do some harassment, to defend nicely. And
medevac!
A medevac and a Viking.
It's a nice pick-off to get that medevac. The Viking as well, not too bad of a pick-up, but especially the medevac. And Soulkey making 12 lings now. He's got a lot of bio to deal with. Swinging over into the natural, there's some Marines there already. Might be able to get an SCV, maybe not.
He's probably thinking, what the hell is this? A third base on the way with some long-distance mining.
Maru's a crazy kid, man. He does what he wants. Doesn't play by the rules. Failing speed halfway done.
He's done well with his own way of playing.
That's right.
With the 1-1 underway here.
Oh, Mutas need to be careful here. They do have stim.
The creep spread, not too bad, I guess, here for Soulkey, but Maru's still ahead in supply, like almost every single time. He's got quite a few Widow Mines already out on the map. 3, 27 Marines as well, against 8 Banelings, 8 Mutas, and 17 Zerglings. Worker count still pretty even. Soulkey's squeezing out a lot of units and very few drones. Like, he just made 3 drones and a lot of Zerglings.
Oh, the Banelings are looking to press up the Marines against the wall here. Actually gets a decent connection, considering they're slow Banelings off creep.
Soulkey, it feels like he chases a little bit too far. Maru just always engages at the edge of the creep, and oh my god, he needs to be careful not to lose Mutas.
I can't believe he lost that many Mutas there, but he will at least get a medevac for Soulkey.
He lost 4 Mutas.
Yeah, I can't believe he lost those Mutas there. That's a really large blunder for the Zerg.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep this Muta count alive here as Soulkey, and losing those, he's going to have to replace them. They're very costly in gas. That's going to be less Banelings than he can make, and now he's getting only 8. And Maru's not going to slow down anytime soon, pressuring that third base from the bottom of the ramp here.
This macro monster, he's already on 60 SCVs, 61 SCVs versus the 64 drones of Soulkey. Making 9 Marines at time, 1-1, about to finish. Nice Widow Mine connection there on the Banelings. They do get cleaned up by Soulkey though. Maru moving back into the third, repositioning, and can't parade just yet. He needs more. He's got 1-1 finishing, which will help him a lot. The Banelings have speed now, so that's helpful for Soulkey, but he's well off creep. He's way off creep. He's pressuring all the way into at the front of Maru's third, and this is where Maru wants to engage. He wants Soulkey to overcommit here.
Yeah, Soulkey being on the 4th base the way he is, he's going to work on saturating that, just get enough units to deal with anything that Maru's going to throw at him. And by the look of things, he's not even going to sit back at home. He wants to be aggressive. This is what Moonglade had told me about and predicted here with Soulkey. really trying to make something happen here, being on 4th bases.
Yeah, losing those mutas have actually really hurt him here because he doesn't have enough to burn down turrets. It's very hard. It's a lot harder to get that sweet number of mutas where you can one-shot medevacs and mines. The mine's actually going out a little bit too far here, and Maru with a uncharacteristic miscontrol, losing quite a bit of his army there to the Banelings and the Lings.
Great engagement by Soulkey, and he's going to go right past those units. There is a wall.
Yeah, he gets the wall up, but the Banelings, and there's a lot of Speedlings in the natural, and that means that Maru needs to let the wall down to let his Marines come in and help out. His third's in a bit of trouble here.
Man, those mutas, they're evil. Just flying in, sniping stuff left and right. Gonna try to go for some medevacs, gets a Widowmine here as well.
The micro from Maru is so good.
Yeah, but I mean, Soulkey is managing mutas and macroing perfectly at the same time too.
He is,
Both of these guys are insane.
Both players truly heavyweights here. We were talking about how good this round of 8 was and how good this round of 4 is. This is like a GSL Grand Final type of caliber of game we're seeing here, with 2-2 on the way for both players. Slightly ahead for Soulkey. He's looking good with the upgrades. Burrow on the way as well, so we will be able to deny or possibly set up some Banling landmines, which could be great against Maru. He doesn't always scan ahead when he goes for attacks.
Soulkey starts a 5th and a macro hatch at the 4th base, which gets scanned here, so definitely gonna just wanna look to basically swarm Maru completely before he can get swarmed himself, because Maru is gonna be the one rallying units across the map. We've seen the parade. Those medevacs already being low on hit points. Would be nice if you could at least repair that a little bit, because they're gonna die faster. And the mutas, feels like the mutas, you know, they're just here to kind of counter-attack, do some damage here and there, and force Maru to attack, counter-attack. In which case you defend on creep and you're in a great position. Some Banling bombs were set up, by the way. Around the watchtower, around the Zelnaga watchtower on the right-hand side.
You just don't want none of that. It's a lot of Marines here.
I don't know if Maru will expect those. If he walks on top of it, he's just 2 Banelings. Could lose a lot of Marines before the engagement even happens. But, I mean, he's still ahead on supply. And those upgrades, man, everything's finishing at the same time.
Yeah, basically. Plus to attack on the way for the mutas, which is going to help him pick off those medevacs a little bit easier. And also the Widowmines as well, which is why they exist. Oh, here we go. Big engagement.
The Widowmines are ready.
The Widowmines connections aren't amazing here. Lots of Banelings left over. Soulkey, he might just have too much. Pushing forward, but Maru splits. Oh my god. He keeps all of this alive, and just every Baneling died there. And he has so much army left over.
Maru with such good splits and micro in those fights.
The mutas now diving into the main, looking to get some production, getting into the economy.
Yeah, Soulkey, it really feels like again here. He's saying, I want to put you in a bad spot back at home. I want you to attack into me, so you step on creep. In which case, I'm gonna blow your entire army up with my Banelings. The Baneling bomb just below this. Okay, he spots it. He demines it with the units that he has here, Maru. Well, and he knows that the mutas are probably flying back right now.
Soulkey tipped his hand when he borrowed that one Baneling. Now he knows that there's going to be... Oh, nice, picking up those medevacs. But as I was saying... Oh, jeez... the muta's finding himself in a box position here. The bio coming from every direction.
But I'm gonna be careful here. Soulkey, who's well saturated on 4 bases. Never mind the gases, though, there. He only wants to produce out of the 6 hatcheries that he has. And he's going to go for the fight.
This is on creep and a lot of Banelings here. Maru needs to be very, very careful. Big connection with the Banelings on the Marines at the front there. And he's trying to split the army supplies very, very even, in fact, in favor of Soulkey. And he's pushing Maru back. Maru splits are nice, but with the reinforcement, he could keep pushing here. The Banelings are starting to thin out.
The medevacs are taking so much damage.
He can't lose these medevacs. Yeah, he has to leave here.
But I mean, they're so low on hit points, he's gonna have to repair everything. That's gonna delay the next attack a lot. And Soulkey, all of a sudden, he has so much supply. 85 army supply to 55.
20 of them are Zerglings that are about to pop out here.
Do you think Soulkey, there's any chance he might try to finish? Or should he just keep on waiting, knowing that Maru does not have a 4th, because he has a burrowed Zergling on the 4th base of Maru?
Soulkey is in a beautiful spot. This is the best spot he could possibly be in. He is so far ahead right now with army supply, with the base count. All he needs to do is attack and trade amazingly into this 3rd and kill Maru here. If Maru trades really, really well, he can fight back and get that 4th up and start to put the counter pressure on. Oh, he's moving out into a lot of Zerglings and Banelings. The hot pickups are real. He's trying to pull back. The Widowmines are down here. The Baneling connections haven't been incredible just yet. There's still so many left over. Maru's still with his Marines and all his bio split, but this is so much from Soulkey. 30 more Zerglings on the way. Soulkey is looking to get that comeback king streak going. GG. Gets himself one game there. Here's 1-2. Is there some comeback king belief? Oh, what do you think? Do you feel it? Do you #believe?
For sure, man. After this game, it really feels like if Soulkey, plays his style, doesn't take any damage early on, he just does great. He did really, really good here. Got his Mutas out, shut down every single attack that Maru threw at him very comfortably. Never really was in too much trouble. Even, got those great engagements in the middle of the map, called those Hellions. That definitely helped a lot, shutting down the Terran map control.
Losing the Hellions, I mean, the thing is, Maru has gotten ahead in the first 2 games by getting a lot of drone kills. He got almost none, if none, in that game. The Hellions completely shut down. Soulkey all over it with his Overlord spread. There was a lot of high ground for the Overlords to hang on and to not get spotted. And Maru's just swinging past them with the Hellions. He took the wide left route there to go to Soulkey. He was trying to skip from going through the middle. But Soulkey, the catches, this kid, he's so good. Maru just outclassed him in the first 2 games, but Soulkey showed with game 3 that this is going to be a good fight getting into the grand final here.
And Catalina is going to be our next map. What do you think? How about that one?
Catalina, a little bit tough to hold a third for Zerg. Hellbat pushes quite nice on this if Maru wants to go for a Hellbat.
Even better reason to go for 2 base Mutas.
Absolutely.
Which, if he does not, I'm going to be sad, because he's done pretty bad with everything else.
The Hellbat push is pretty much the thing that forced Zergs to go for that opening that you like, the 2 base Muta.
And then they discovered how good the Mutas were early on. I guess there are some weaknesses to the build. Having to skip upgrades for this long definitely can make it difficult to deal with Terran later on. But as long as you don't take any damage early on, then you're always going to be able to reach a certain amount of drones, of upgrades, of Mutas, Banelings, and then it's all about the fights and defense with counter-aggression here and there. And Soulkey's execution was just insane in the previous game with that. Those Mutas, he knew that he was going to have enough back at home no matter what to defend against any kind of ground army attack by Maru. He had Overlords well placed. No drop was even attempted, I think. Besides the original drop in the main?
He tried one in the early game, but it got shut down so hard.
Yeah, I mean, behind is like any kind of double medivac drop didn't even happen.
Well, like I said in the first 2 games, when you asked what's, is it decisions or is it the engagements, Soulkey's been having great engagements. And when he has the right amount of units and he picks the fights the way he wants to pick them, the engagements go amazingly for him. Some of them, it was very back and forth because Maru is an incredible player. He will always prove split. He knows how far he can go and creep without losing too much. He knows when the Zerg's going to counterattack.
Yeah.
Soulkey will get the good engagements. It's just the first 2 games, his decisions were a little bit funny, but game 3 looked a lot more than what we expected, and then he got the result that we kind of expected. A lot of the panelists expected. A lot of those guys up there think that Soulkey's going to win this one still.
Yeah, the engagements, you're right. Like, this is definitely one of the things we haven't talked about too much. We mentioned how good Maru's engagement were in the first 2 games, at least. Standing at the edge of the creep, pulling back, splitting perfectly. But Soulkey kind of fixed that too. He took some pretty bad engagements. As much as it was Maru playing really well, it was maybe Soulkey overextending a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good thing that he has fixed that in the previous game, but he's going to have to keep that up. Taking very good engagement. I mean, you can macro all you want. You can get as many units out as you want. You can even have a big supply lead. If you butcher the fight, you're going to lose no matter what. So you can't butcher the fight. You need to own the fight.
Yeah, got to trade very, very well. Both players need to trade very well, actually. Like I said, TVZ, whether you're ahead or behind, a bad engagement, a Baneling hit, a Widowmine hit, makes all the difference.
Man, that facial expression with his cheeks. It's if he went to the finals, it would be that facial expression against Life's duck face. He does the warm-up thing where he touches his face from the side.
Yeah, I was image searching for Life a little bit ago when I was doing a tweet about the grand finalist, and there were so many of them with doing his fish face.
Yeah, it's a fish face or a duck face. I thought it was. I guess fish. Yeah, fish is more right.
I guess fish because he's like squeezing his cheeks.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people out there wish they could squeeze his cheeks.
What's your habits before you play StarCraft? What face do you make?
I don't know. I think I make a Maru face. I don't really have an expression when I play StarCraft.
You make a Maru face?
Well, no one's...
You wish you did, Maynard.
I wish I could keep Maru's face through the whole game and playing through a tournament. But, I mean, when I play StarCraft, it's not for a longer session, but as Maru would, he'd play 100 games a week easy, less, maybe double that. But we're going to go for a short break here for a few minutes. as the players get set up for the next map here. So guys, please don't go away. We'll see you soon. G'day guys, welcome back to Intel Extreme Masters in Taipei. We are mid-series to discern who's going to be the grand finalist along with Life. And at the moment, Maru with a lead 2-1, but that one was, well, Soulkey just came back and got himself a map.
Maru can bleed, apparently.
Yes,
and
if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Maru, I feel like even though he's really good in TVZ, there's definitely some trends to pick up on in this play. Like he seems to have, you know, this main build that's super solid, but not only that, I think that in the build orders, on maps, he probably has, you know, 1 to 2, sometimes 3 build orders that he prefers.
Yeah.
If Soulkey has done his research, and I'm sure he has, and he picked up on some of the trends that Maru likes to go for, it might be possible to exploit that. And that's exactly actually what Su did when he played against Maru in Pro League. They had played on Foxtrot. Su knew that Maru was probably going to go for a command center first into, you know, a gas and a barracks. So he went for the proxy hatch. And he made spine crawlers there. And he spine rushed the wall at the ramp of Maru. And he ended up winning like this, which is definitely nice. So I don't think that's going to happen on Catalina because it's a 3-player map, but definitely one of the nice things that you can do is study your opponent, kind of figure out what you think he's going to do and counter it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you really need to study a player like Maru and Soulkey. I mean, Maru would have done his research as well. He kind of similar to an innovation where, you know, he likes a certain build order and he'll continue to do it, and he'll do it so well that you can't stop it even though you know it's coming. But that said, though, Soulkey did see it coming. He shut it down really, really well in the last game on Deadwing. And we are gearing up for our next match. It's going to be on Catalina. And we talked about it just before we went to the break. The third's a little bit tough to hold for Zerg. It's not too bad. Hellbat pushes are pretty prevalent on this map, which means we may be seeing some more 2-base play from Soulkey. And that crowd is locked. Their gaze is locked on this game. So we are getting into it. Maru on the left, Soulkey on the right. Who's going to be the grand finalist? I honestly can't tell you. I'm still feeling it for my Terran brother at the bottom right here from TCM. This is Soulkey. And in the northernmost position from Jin Air Green Wings, this is Maru.
Any prediction on what we might see here out of Maru? Are you feeling 2 racks, CC first, Reaper? On this map, Reaper is pretty good, right?
Yeah, this map is pretty good for Reaper. You got that sort of jump up position in the top of the third there. You can get, you know, you can be pretty obnoxious with it.
He had some fun against True with some Reapers, actually.
He did, but I don't know if we're seeing, we won't be seeing Reaper Rush in this game. No proxies either. But it's kind of like, Terrans don't really open Reaper anymore in TVZ. It's kind of the meta to just go Marine first and then go Overlord hunting. Shoo them away from your main. Even if you don't kill Overlords, keep them out of your main and make the Zerg think twice about sending one straight over your production to see what's going on, which you can do when you open Reaper. Soulkey going pull first here.
And Maru going Reaper, so definitely going to want to look to get up that ramp here, do some damage, annoy Soulkey as much as he can, get a few kills, if possible. And Soulkey, yeah, it's just going to be a pull into hatch, you know, very standard. In the previous game, he went hatch first and won, but not going to risk on a map like this, you know, losing to a 2 racks, being down 1 and 2.
He's dropping a second barracks in the main, Todd, and he's hiding this from Soulkey.
I thought this might happen, man. Reapers on this map, they are pretty sick. The thing is, okay, no, Soulkey is afraid that this could be a Marine, so he's just going to get out. He's not going to take the risk.
Yeah, well, he knows what Terran's been doing these days, and Maru might be playing with the meta here. Second barracks, 3/4 of the way done. Soulkey completely unaware of it.
If Soulkey does not realize what's up here, he's going to be in so much trouble. And look, he's starting an extractor. Do you think this is the right move here to try and go for speed? Is speed going to complete on time to be relevant in this game?
We'll have to wait and see. Barracks finishes. Second Reaper on the way, no doubt, to go for that. Yeah, there it is.
You don't have that much gas though here, Maru, so that's gonna delay that 3rd Reaper that he's starting now.
Yep, so on the way though, and the bunker's gonna go down, Todd. This SCV just scouting. It looks like he's a scouting SCV. Soulkey doesn't know better. The Queen is out. And here comes Reaper number 1.
Saying hello, which is, I mean, it's very standard to have like 1 Reaper up there.
Yeah, that's the path for the Reaper.
Opening Reaper on this map, it's really the next 2 that will put Soulkey in a difficult position.
Oh
but
my God, he sees a second Reaper.
Oh, it's a little sloppy here by Maru. Should have rallied that towards the left. So now knowing about that.
But he hasn't actually tipped his hand here. He hasn't looked for that bunker yet. He hasn't started.
Yeah, is that bunker really that important? He's getting more queens now. He's gonna go up to 3 very quickly. Speeds, I guess, is 90 seconds from finishing.
And here come the Reapers. They're right in front of that Queen. 3 Reapers now, 2 Queens out. That's quite a lot of damage here from the Zerg. No transfuses. Micro from Maru, quite good so far, but he's getting very, very low in hit points. He's going to go for drones instead.
A 4th Queen was already started here, and Soulkey needs to protect his mineral line with the Queens here. He was out of position for a second.
Ooh! Nearly surrounded that 1 Reaper at the back. The Micro from Maru is exceptional.
Oh.
He's keeping all. Oh, he got the Queen as well. Maru, you sick Terran.
A 48 energy Queen as well. It's almost had a transfuse for another Queen.
Oh.
Getting that one was really, really nice, but has Maru done enough damage for this to be worth it? It's 20 walkers to 20. Speed's about to finish. We're gonna have a lot of links starting momentarily.
Maru's actually going to try and finish the game here, Todd. He's going to try and keep these Reapers alive and kill Soulkey here. More Reapers on the way. Actually, no. Dropping the CC. Okay.
And
this
a factory
means
as well behind this.
Okay. So, but these Reapers are all still alive. He's going to continue to pressure. Lings of Soulkey are heading across the map. It doesn't take that long for the Reapers to go home if he needs to.
If he had mornings, he could have gone and cancel on that natural base of Maru here very nicely, and I don't think he has enough right now. Like, surely the Reapers could come back on time to defend against that.
The Overlord comes in and confirms that there's not too many Marines at home, and these Speedlings are going to run by into the natural.
He's going for the cancel, or possibly into the main. He's going to try to get in the main.
He does get in the main. The front door's wide open. Soulkey's in the main here. Maru caught unawares with his pants down, and all these Lings are in. He has to pull the SCVs, and the Reapers need to come home. How much damage can Soulkey do here before the Reapers come back?
Pulling a life move here. Gonna get a few SCVs here and there. Let's see how many can get in total. So far, it's been just 2. The Reapers are on their way back. They're gonna look to shut this down completely. Back at home, Soulkey has his Queens that he's gonna be able to start creep spreading with. He's just gonna drone up, I guess, from there. He knows that nothing can hit him other than these Reapers, which he's totally fine against. He saw the 3rd CC. So he's probably, he's gonna take a 3rd base here, Soulkey, and drone up like a madman.
Yeah. He knows he's in a pretty good spot economically, even though he lost a Queen and to those Reapers, perhaps 2 Queens there to the Reapers. Maru didn't actually lose too many SCVs from that counterattack. He lost Marines, and he lost 2 SCVs.
Yeah, which is definitely not much, but there's still 38 drones to 26 SCVs now, which is definitely nice here for Soulkey, and especially since he's gonna keep on making so many before ever being in danger. Dropping the Roach Warren here.
Yeah, this is... He knows Hellions are on the way, and there's a lot of Reapers that he still has to worry about. Roach is definitely a good choice, but Maru has 3 CC. He can continue 3 SCVs at a time, making that before he moves it on to an expansion. He's not incredibly behind in economy, especially if he does a lot of damage to this hatchery here. That's a lot of Reapers. He can't engage this.
Having made as many Queens as he made early on, he's going to have a lot of creep spread, or even transfuses on the Queen to work with.
Queen's coming up. Targets the high energy one. Actually, a lot of them have energy. That's transfuses there. The Reaper Micro from Maru is so good. They are still alive, but they're very, very low. One goes down there. Big pick off there for Soulkey. Just a few left now.
Yeah, 2 more Hellions are going to rejoin this, and he's actually keeping a little bit of units back at home here, Maru, with double Hellion and some Marines. And instead of dropping down a starport very quickly, Maru went for the double eBay behind the middle line of his natural once again and added on 1 more barracks.
Now the big tell here is that there are 11 Roaches on the way and a Banley Nest. Soulkey is going to be going for a bust here, and this is a very scary bust.
Yeah.
Only Hellions and Reapers aren't going to help a whole lot against this. The Hellions sure will be great against the Lings and the Banelings, but look at how much he has back in the natural. That's not much at all against this many Roaches.
Soulkey really picked up on the fact that Maru, he loves to go for double eBay with this. He knows that Maru's probably going to have double eBay, so he's going to have that many less units. And in terms of army, we are up to 54 against 36. I've seen Maru actually make some of the very best holds against this kind of attack in the past with just sick micro. He's going to need just that.
He's had some incredible holds in his career, but can he do it again? This is a very, very scary attack here from Soulkey. He's definitely respecting it. He knows that he just needs to hold here to be in a great spot. He's making so many bunkers, and he has a ton of Marines as well.
He's getting a tank as well.
Yeah,
to help and defend. If that came out, it would help so much, but the bust is going to happen before. Here we go.
Here we go. A lot of the Banelings going down, but there's still a couple left. The Banelings are all gone, and it's all about the Roaches. 4 or 5 more at the back. The Banelings, more Banelings keep coming up the ramp. They just won't stop. They're pushing through. The bunkers are going down. The Marines are going down. One Marauder at the back line. He was so helpful here. The SCV is being pulled. The Hellions helping so much against the Zerglings. I think Maru's going to hold here.
Yeah, he's taking quite a few losses, but only 9 SCVs.
That's nothing compared to how much he just spent there.
Especially
Maru's in such a good spot.
Yeah, having 3 orbitals here, 32 SCVs against 41 drones is definitely not the end of the world, but behind is Soulkey. He's finally going to start lair. He's gonna drone up a little bit more with 10 more on the way. He's still got the cruise spread going for him, so this is still anybody's game.
The Hellions are all still alive, and he's very, very heavy lings. He's gonna be very careful. Can't go too deep on the creep.
Do those Reapers ever die?
One did.
Yeah.
With a siege tank and Marauders and Marines back at home, and the upgrades on the way, Maru going to have 1-1
before Soulkey even starts his. So that's definitely a big win. Armory on the way as well. Being able to start 2-2 ASAP going to be important, and Soulkey is going to focus on the creep spread from here. Wouldn't be surprised to see him drop down a Spire, already being on 3 gases.
Oh, and with the armory coming down, not only can Maru get 2-2, but he can also turn those Hellions into Hellbats.
He goes
make
for
them
roach
so
speed.
scary. Yeah.
How do you like that? Instead of going for Spire and Mutas, he's gonna stay on roaches. I think he knows that he hasn't done too much damage, so he's not confident to go into Spire. He thinks that he will die, maybe, or he might die, and he doesn't want to risk it, which I guess also makes sense with everything that happens.
Yeah. Maru can't quite afford his upgrades yet, but that armory is certainly going to make these Hellions very scary. That's a lot of Hellions still, and with the siege tank, he can actually engage roaches, and definitely Zerglings as well. The Spire is on the way for Soulkey. Looks like he might have cancelled roach speed, actually. Changed his mind, perhaps.
Yeah, went for the Spire. Which, I mean, in this case, it was slowdown because he hesitated about it.
Yeah.
That drop in the main should be defended. There is a lot of links and banelings waiting there.
Yeah, Maru just not silly enough to try and make that work. Oh, actually dropping the Marines out the front here. Engaging the Zerglings. He does have 1-1, so actually the trade went a lot better than I thought. I forgot about those upgrades.
This poor 0-0 Lings getting demolished completely here. A good scan will help clean some of that creep spread, but lots of banelings are morphing now.
Yeah.
Speed should finish before the next engagement.
Oh, beautiful. I love this siege positioning. He can continue to poke into the main, and when the banelings come up, he can just keep ferrying it up into the main here using this lip. And Overlord going down, not quite supply blocking Soulkey. Centrifugal Hawks is done. He does have Baneling speed, and he needs it to try and get his juicy connection here because the Hellbats are out.
Oh my god.
The split from Maru is up the creep, and he's just
using
losing
the Banelings on the Hellbats, and the split was beautiful here out of Maru, but Soulkey attacks from behind what's down the ramp, but that means there's too much in his main now for him to be able to hold.
Yeah, and he's losing Queens here. Hellbats are still alive. The Medivacs aren't healing the Hellbats, but they are keeping the Marines alive. Here come the Banelings. They connect with the Hellbats. The Hellbats are dead, and Maru's going to pull back. He does get the siege tank at the back as well, so Maru might be stymied for now, but he is 63 army supply over the 32 of Soulkey. Equal worker counts, but Maru's army is so scary. He's got to pick up here. He's got to be careful against those Banelings. An inefficient trade, and all of a sudden Soulkey can try and muster back. All these Overlords are going to go down.
I mean, there is nothing to shut down the Medivacs here. 5 Mutas are being made, 7 now, but there is just too much army supply for Maru, who just wants to advance to the finals here with this game.
And it looks like he will. 60 supply over 30, double the army supply. The mutas are coming down. He's in the main, completely killing the mining time. I think that this is it, Todd. Maru stimming his Marines. He's trading so well. The main cannot be cleaned up. He's making Zerglings. The drones are just sitting there. Maru, it looks like he's only 20 supply up, but he is so far ahead in army supply with 2-2 on the way and just 1-1 done for Soulkey's units. Soulkey is holding on for now, but how long, Todd?
This is Soulkey's tournament life that he's still fighting for. He's trying to hang in there, but Maru's not going to slow down anytime soon. Rallying all the barracks across the map. So many more units than his opponent. 80 army supply to 37 now.
And this is a terrible engagement for the Mutalists. They're all going down. Soulkey is losing his lifelines. The Banelings are coming in the back. They can't even kill the Widow Mines. 3 Banelings, 4 Banelings in the front. Too much bio. This is it. Maru is going to be a grand finalist, and he will face life in the grand final of the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei. What a boss. What a boss. And this kid, now I can say, will definitely be going to the grand final to face life, and with it's going to be the most incredible TVZ that you guys have seen in recent memory. And oh boy.
And much like life, he qualifies for Katowice as well.
Yes.
Which is always nice, lots of money going to be up for grabs here.
It is always nice to go to the World Finals, absolutely.
What a dream finals.
Yeah. If you check out Carmac's tweet, he actually tweeted last night the current invites for the World Finals, or who's going to the World Finals in Katowice, which is the next stop for the Intel Extreme Masters.
All the players that qualified, he's now one of them.
Yeah, he is one of them, so what a great showing for the debut of the only Terran in the round of 8, getting all the way to the grand final.
You think he still thinks Terran is weak?
He probably still does, and he's sick, in his sick, twisted perception of life. He probably thinks that Terran is incredibly weak. But Maru, what an amazing player. He's probably, I would say that going into this final, probably going to win against Life. But that's enough from me. That's actually my last cast, our last cast for this tournament. Hope you guys enjoyed. Todd and myself, we're going to be switching over to Kalaris and Apollo next. But first, let's talk to Red Eye at the desk.
Thank you very much, Maynard and Todd, there with our second semi-final. So we have our grand finalists. They are set, and they're both through to the World Championship finals in Katowice in 6 weeks' time. Kalaris and Todd are with me at the desk.
Done it again.
I've done it again.
It's twice now. Is this on purpose?
I think it is.
I'm trolling.
I don't like to be disrespected like this.
It could be like a, you know.
There's no backhand compliments in that statement.
We know the history between the English and the French. Come on.
See, the trouble is you keep confusing me with your buttons. You know, he does it up, he does it down, he does it up, he does it down. I don't know.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry. Apollo.
Hello.
And Kalaris.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello, really good, thanks.
Good? Yeah. All right. Let's not do the awkward stuff after all. Do you know what? Before we actually wrap up the game and we talk about the grand final and we move on, why don't we go to the stage right now, because Susie is with our winner.
All right, thank you, Paul. I am here with our winner. We've got Maru. We have a Terran in the finals, guys. Give it up for Maru. Okay, Maru, this is the 3rd time I'm interviewing you on stage, and you've promised you're going to give me some better answers. Are you going to do better this time? 이번엔 좀 더 좋은 대답을 줄 거야?
일단 제가 몸이 안 좋아가지고 말을 잘 할 수 있을지 모르겠어요.
He said this time his excuse is he's in bad condition today, and so he's not sure if he'll be able to talk well. But we'll see what we can get out of him. Okay, this is the first time you're meeting Soulkey on a foreign stage. Is it any different than playing him in Pro League? Pro League에서 같이 하는 것보다 이런 큰 무대에서 게임을 하는 차이점이 있나?
일단 프로리그는 단판이다 보니까 되게 한 경기밖에 없어서 지면 좀 그런데 이거는 5판 3선이고 하니까 충분히 이길 수 있다 생각하고 경기 들어갔던 것 같아요.
He said, you know, in Pro League, it's always just one match, wherefore here, it's a best of 5. And so he said, even if I lost a game, you know, it didn't really matter so much, wherefore in Pro League, it really did. So he was feeling a lot better, and he knew that he was going to be able to win. Okay, is Terran really the weakest race? 진짜 테란이 그렇게 약한 정도이야?
약하진 않은 것 같은데 센 건 아닌 것 같아요.
He said, fine, I guess they're not weak, but they're not strong either. I'm not sure what to make of that answer. Okay, did you expect a 3-1? 3대1로 이길 거라고 생각했어?
첫 판 이기고 되게 3대0으로 이기고 싶었는데 두 번째 판을 해보니까 그러진 못할 것 같아서 되게 목숨을 당할까 봐 걱정을 많이 했는데 이렇게 그래도 이기게 돼서 되게 좋은 것 같아요.
Actually, after he won that first game, he thought he was going to be able to do a 3-0, and then game 2 happened, and then he kind of lost a little bit of confidence, but he's really happy that he was able to win. Okay, so next you are playing against Life. It is going to be a ZVZ final, TVZ final, and you were able to beat Azure pretty easily this time around. Do you think it's going to happen again? 이제 또 다음 상대방은 저그 선수인데 그것도 그렇게 쉽게 이길 수 있을 것 같아?
일단 제 컨디션이 좀 안 좋아가지고.
왜 안 좋아?
감기 기운이 있는 것 같아요. 그래서 한번 해보고 좀 잘 풀리나 안 풀리나 봐야 될 것 같아요.
Okay, he says he's catching a cold, guys. he's not feeling very good, so he's just going to have to play it out tomorrow. I mean, later on, and see if that cold is going to affect him or not. So we'll expect good games out of him, and we'll go back to the desk with you.
Thank you very much, Susie, on the stage there with our Victor from our second semi-final. Back to the desk with Todd and Claris again then.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Good to be back.
That might possibly have been the worst hosting I've ever done in my entire life, that last segment. It was awful. Just going to throw that out there. Anyway, back to the serious stuff and the good stuff. Maru, massively impressive again. Against what you said. I mean, you went with Soulkey, I went with Soulkey as well. It was more of a hard decision for me, but he played so well.
Yeah, when looking at it, if we just reference the game 3 on Deadwing there, when Soulkey gets to a certain point in the game, he is able to win in the later stages. But against a player like Maru, you just can't get there. Yeah. And if you do get there, let's say the benchmark's 15 minutes. If you do get to the 15-minute mark, you've already lost the game.
Yeah, absolutely. James, what do you think went wrong for Soulkey, or what didn't go right for him is probably better way of putting it.
What went wrong for Soulkey was that Maru was just on top of it, as Sean says, through the mid game.
But what did he do? Do you feel like he could have played better? Do you feel like if he played better, it wouldn't have mattered? Was Maru that strong?
I mean, his splits were really good. They just kept going. They never really stopped. Yeah. There weren't even that many impressive Widowmine connections to really warrant the idea of that being the limiting factor for Soulkey. It was just purely split after split after split, and it never stopped.
Soulkey wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough in the early mid game.
Yeah, sure. I mean, did you get that feeling, as I did from the first match, when Maru decides, okay, it's 2 racks right off the bat, into, well, then I'm just going to make you look stupid kind of build, and still wins, even though it didn't work. It's like, well, how can Soulkey win this now if that's going to be how it is?
Yeah, when that happened, the first thing I did was grab my phone. I'm like, Soulkey, because it's happening like he knows how he knows how Maru's going to play.
I don't think you could have got a better scout, could you? Because it popped.
He knew,
and he knew straight away.
He knew it was going to happen, so he went there, he saw it, and from that I was just inspired with confidence, especially with what we said before we went on with the game. And then it kind of just went downhill.
Yeah, absolutely.
The wall-off could have been better from the Hellions that did enter as well. I mean, that was something that really helped out Maru in that game. And unfortunately, just 2 evolution chambers with the Queen just chilling out isn't enough. He didn't get the right scout to see those coming over the map.
2-0 down, you then start worrying, but then we all know what Soulkey can do. We've called him the comeback king a number of times, and he's proved us that he can do that. Not quite this time, but he did at least get that map back. Did you think, okay, this is now on? Because in game 4, there were chances for Soulkey. There were opportunities. Small windows, admittedly, but there were chances.
When he played on Deadwing, cross positions, it's the best case scenario to get to the late game without dying in the early part against Maru. It's a big map. It's a 4-player map. So when that happened, I was inspired with confidence again, thinking, okay, he can do this. Catalina, he took the early mid game with a lead. And as we've seen so many times in the past, with that lead, you have 2 choices. You get further ahead and don't worry about finishing the game off, or you decide to take that lead and hit within a window to win the game. He chose that latter option, and unfortunately it didn't work out for him. It was defended.
Yeah, very straightforward in the end.
Yeah, the small window that Maru had to be able to react to that as well. I mean, he didn't exactly see it as it was coming. Well, he saw it as it was coming across the map, but just a little bit later than most Terrans would feel comfortable with. So his reactions were very, very well done. I really liked how Maru was able to deal with that.
Okay, quick look forward. We're going to take a break in a moment, but a quick look forward to the final. In many respects, it would almost have not mattered which of the 8 players had gone through. It would have been a dream final. But for me, this one's even more special because it's Maru versus Life. It's the prodigal final, the prodigal sons of both of their races.
Yeah, this is a final. I mean, I'm not just saying this, but I did actually tweet about this about a month ago or so. Maybe it was after one of their games they played in Pro League. And I said, this year, we must see a best of 7 between these 2 players. Yeah. And it's the first tournament and it's happened already. It's actually kind of crazy. But
wasn't it 2 weeks ago when they played in Pro League?
Yeah, I don't know when it was. It wasn't that long ago. Yeah. And I really do mean it. And so I'm very happy to get it. But a lot of people, when speaking about it, also said that as good as the final could be, think about the 2 playstyles of these people, these players. It can end as fast as we've actually gotten here because it could do just 2 Raxes, early spawn and pulls, and just end straight away.
Yeah. Hopefully we get a mixture of that, a mixture of long game, macro games as well, because Life's shown us pretty much everything so far. So he's shown, and likewise, if you include the group stages and the knockout stage, Maru's done the same. He's gone long, he's gone short, he's gone Proxy, he's done all sorts. So
if it goes to all 7 games, we see all 7 maps, some of which we haven't really seen too much, like Infernal Pulse, for example. They may potentially want to get that out of the way at the very beginning. We don't know just yet, but
with some crazy stuff.
I think it's safe to say this is probably going to be the best final of 2015.
It's the only final of 2015 so far, so I think we would go with that. I'm very confident that you're confident that you've got that right. I think we're on the same page here. Good. Okay. On that note, we'll take a quick break. But when we do come back, it will be grand final time. And as we've said already, it's the prodigal final. It's life versus a fantastic informed Maru from our semi-finals. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, they'll be playing for $10,000 first prize and 750 points in WCS, as well as they'll both be going to the to the Katowice World Championship in March in 6 weeks' time. We'll see you in a few.